Four Things the Fast Helps Us Strengthen. Read by its author, myself, Naysan Naraqi. As I take part in this special period of the Baha'i year and join fellow Baha'is around the world in the fast, I've been reflecting on what I've learned from fasting over the years. Probably the main thing which comes to mind is that even now, although I've been doing it every year for the last 20 years or so, I'm not getting any better at it. But perhaps that's the point. To get better at it would mean that we would potentially miss out on a significant opportunity to put ourselves to the test in order to help ourselves grow and develop into better human beings, which is what we're encouraged to do as Baha'is every day anyway. Baha'u'llah wrote, "We have enjoined upon you fasting during a brief period. Beware lest desire deprive you of this grace that is appointed in the book." So maybe it doesn't need to get any easier, as I don't want to be deprived of this grace. I heard a joke once which goes, "The biggest drawback to fasting for 7 days is that it makes one weak." Get it? Yeah, well, but in all seriousness, becoming weak is the whole point, and fasting is a great opportunity for us to actually exercise and strengthen what I like to call our spiritual muscles. There's no point in just thinking and talking about how we need to work on and develop qualities such as detachment or humility if we're not able to put ourselves to the test in real, everyday circumstances. Baha'u'llah says, "It is incumbent upon every man of insight and understanding to strive to translate that which hath been written into reality and action." So when we're exhausted, thirsty, and hungry, it often quickly comes apparent what shortcomings or attributes we need to work on. And we can look at the fast as a period of time where, for 19 days, we have an opportunity to really rev up the strengthening of our spiritual muscles in a more concentrated and intense way. I thought it would be interesting to reflect on just 4 of the spiritual muscles or qualities the fast has helped me strengthen. And I'm sure many of you can relate to these as well. So here we go. Number 1, discipline. Yep, there's no doubt about that. Having to refrain from food and drink between sunrise and sunset while still carrying on with our daily lives and making sure we're up before sunrise every day to say our prayers and eat can be hard. But as the saying goes, no pain, no gain, right? Baha'u'llah clearly explains, even though outwardly the fast is difficult and toilsome, yet inwardly it is bounty and tranquility. Purification and training are conditioned and dependent only on such rigorous exercises as are in accord with the Book of God and sanctioned by divine law. Whatsoever God hath revealed is beloved of the soul. Abdu'l-Baha also explains, the mind and spirit of man advance when he is tried by suffering. The more the ground is plowed, the better the seed will grow, the better the harvest will be. Just as the plow furrows the earth deeply, purifying it of weeds and thistles, so suffering and tribulation free man from the petty affairs of this worldly life until he arrives at a state of complete detachment. His attitude in this world will be that of divine happiness. Man is, so to speak, unripe. The heat of the fire of suffering will mature him. Look back to the times past, and you will find that the greatest men have suffered most. The second thing the fast helps us strengthen is detachment. The fast definitely helps us practice detachment, and whether you're rich or poor or somewhere in between, attachment is something we are all tested by. Abdu'l-Baha explains this in the following quote, "Our greatest efforts must be directed towards detachment from the things of the world. We must strive to become more spiritual, more luminous, to follow the counsel of the divine teaching, to serve the cause of unity and true equality, to be merciful, to reflect the love of the highest on all men, so that the light of the Spirit shall be apparent in all our deeds, to the end that all humanity shall be united, the stormy sea thereof calmed, and all rough waves disappear from off the surface of life's ocean, henceforth unruffled and peaceful. And again, Abdu'l-Baha expresses the importance of detachment in a prayer. O God, my God, fill up for me the cup of detachment from all things, and in the assembly of thy splendors and bestowals, rejoice me with the wine of loving thee. Free me from the assaults of passion and desire. Break off from me the shackles of this nether world. The third thing the fast helps us strengthen is gratitude and servitude. How good does it feel to drink some water and dig into a meal after a day of fasting? Even something you may not normally have much of a taste for tastes so good. The fast definitely helps us feel a sense of gratitude for what we often take for granted, and it helps us become more compassionate towards those who are without. Baha'u'llah says, "All praise be unto God who hath enjoined on them the fast, that those possessed of means may become apprised of the woes and sufferings of the destitute." And feeling grateful also has positive consequences, as numerous studies have shown that a sense of gratitude encourages and generates a behavior of giving. There are also a number of studies which point out that a sense of gratitude even affects our physical health in a positive way. Baha'u'llah also says, "Blessed is the one who, through the heat generated by the fast, increaseth his love, and who, with joy and radiance, ariseth to perform worthy deeds." The fourth thing the fast helps us strengthen is humility. The Baha'i writings stress the importance of humility. They who are the beloved of God, in whatever place they gather and whomsoever they may meet, must evince in their attitudes towards God and in the manner of their celebration of his praise and glory such humility and submissiveness that every atom of the dust beneath their feet may attest to the depth of their devotion. The conversation carried by these holy souls should be informed with such power that these same atoms of dust will be thrilled by its influence. In my opinion, by fasting, we learn a sense of humility in two major ways. First of all, fasting reminds us of how vulnerable and weak we are as human beings. Humanity has come so far and is advanced technologically and in so many other ways. We've learned to try and tame the earth and our environment to serve us. So at times, it's pretty easy to forget the Creator and just how vulnerable we actually are. However, through the fast, our vulnerabilities are exposed, and it can really bring us to our knees, quickly reminding us of how insignificant and vulnerable we actually are. Baha'u'llah says, "Humility exalteth man to the heaven of glory and power, whilst pride abaseth him to the depths of wretchedness and degradation." Secondly, at times during the fast, I catch myself slipping into a mental state of mind where I either start to feel sorry for myself, and in a certain sense, I start to see myself as a victim because I can't eat and drink like all the others can. I also find myself feeling quite the opposite of this at times as well, where I start to pride myself in the fact that, oh, I'm so tough because I'm refraining from food and drink while all those around me consume it. It's pathetic, I know. But it gets reinforced when everyone around me says, "Oh, I don't know how you do it. I could never do that. You're really strong." Both of these thoughts, of course, go against the spirit of fasting and relate to the ego. Shoghi Effendi explains the ego as being the dark animalistic heritage each one of us has, the lower nature that can develop into a monster of selfishness, brutality, lust, and so on. It is this self we must struggle against, or this side of our natures, in order to strengthen and free the spirit within us and help it to attain perfection. So fasting gives us an opportunity to battle the ego and work on strengthening our spiritual muscles. I know there are many more attributes fasting helps us with, and it would be great to hear about these and how fasting helped you personally in this regard. So feel free to share them in the comments section at the bottom of this article. I'll sign off by leaving us with this wondrous quote from a prayer by Baha'u'llah. Praise be thou, O God, my God. These are the days wherein thou hast enjoined thy chosen ones, thy loved ones and thy servants, to observe the fast, which thou hast made a light unto the people of thy kingdom.